In the vast golden plains of whispering Savannah, where danger and beauty coexist, an extraordinary moment unfolded between a ranger and a desperate lion. What would you do if nature's fiercest predator begged for your help? Stay tuned to find out. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe for more heartwarming tales from the wild, and share your thoughts in the comment below. What did this story make you feel? Now, let's dive into the tale. The sun rose over the endless grasslands of whispering Savannah, painting the world in hues of gold and amber. A dusty green patrol vehicle rumbled along a dirt track, driven by David Roberts, a seasoned ranger with piercing blue eyes and a quiet demeanor. For years, David had dedicated his life to protecting the reserve, knowing every tree, stream, and animal within it. On this particular morning, the air was filled with the familiar sounds of chirping birds, buzzing insects, and the gentle rustle of wind through the acacia trees. Suddenly, as David crested a small hill, he froze. Ahead of him stood a pride of lions, but something was unusual. The dominant male, with a fiery mane glowing like a halo, was standing upright on his hind legs. His front paws were clasped together almost as if in prayer, and his amber eyes locked onto David's. Around him, the lionesses stood silently, their gazes heavy with concern. David switched off the engine, his mind racing with disbelief. Lions were proud creatures, never showing weakness or seeking help. Yet here they were, behaving in a way he'd never seen before. Slowly, cautiously, he stepped out of the vehicle, one hand hovering near his rifle just in case. "What's going on?" he murmured softly, though he knew they couldn't understand his words. The male lion tilted his head slightly, then turned toward a dense thicket nearby. He glanced back at David, his expression urgent, as if urging him to follow. Hesitant but curious, David decided to trust his instincts. He walked toward the thicket, the lions trailing behind at a safe distance. As he pushed aside the branches, his breath caught in his throat. There, tangled in a cruel wire snare, lay a young male lion. Its hind leg was badly injured, and it whimpered weakly in pain. It all made sense now. The dominant male had recognized the danger, but couldn't free the trapped cub himself. So he had risked approaching a human, a potential threat, to beg for help. Without hesitation, David retrieved his toolkit from a vehicle. He spoke gently to the frightened young lion as he worked, soothing its panic. The older lions watched intently, their eyes following his every move but showing no aggression. Carefully, skillfully, David loosened the snare and tended to the wound. Though deep, it wasn't life-threatening. Once freed, the young lion limped toward the others, nuzzling them gratefully. The dominant male approached David next, nudging his head against the ranger's leg in a gesture of profound gratitude. It was a rare, unforgettable moment, a bond forged between man and beast. David understood that in this harsh land, love and loyalty transcended species. The lions walked away, leaving David standing there, overwhelmed by what had just transpired. Years passed, and David continued his patrols across the savannah. He often thought about the pride he had helped, wondering how they were faring. One afternoon, while driving through a remote part of the reserve, he heard the unmistakable roar of lions echoing in the distance. It wasn't the familiar call of the pride he knew. It was the sound of conflict. As he drew closer, he saw two prides locked in a brutal territorial battle. Dust swirled around them as they roared, bit and clawed at each other. Among the chaos, David spotted the aging dominant male struggling against a larger, stronger intruder. Suddenly, another lion charged into the fray, a massive figure with a distinctive dark mane. David stared in astonishment. It was the young male he had saved all those years ago. Now fully grown, the lion seemed to recognize David's presence, glancing briefly at the patrol vehicle before throwing himself into fight. With ferocious strength, he helped turn the tide, driving the invaders away. But the danger wasn't over yet. One severely wounded intruder broke free from the retreat and charged straight toward David. There was no time to react. The enraged lion lunged with claws extended. David closed his eyes, bracing for the worst. But instead, a thunderous roar erupted. Opening his eyes, he saw the lion he had saved intercept the attack. After a fierce struggle, the rescued lion emerged victorious, standing protectively over David. The lion turned to face him, its amber eyes meeting his own. For a moment, they simply looked at each other, the bond between them as strong as ever. Then, with a final nod of acknowledgement, the lion rejoined his pride and disappeared into the wilderness. David sat quietly in his vehicle, his heart swelling with emotion. He had saved a life years ago, and today that life had saved his. From that day forward, he knew he would never truly be alone on his patrols. Somewhere out there, a loyal friend watched over him. Sometimes, acts of kindness create bonds that transcend even the wildest boundaries. Compassion can change lives, not just for those we help, but for ourselves as well. Dear friends, thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring tales from the wild. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How did this story make you feel? Until next time, take care and keep celebrating the wonders of our natural world. Goodbye.